Hello everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to learn English with a true story from history, the story of Winston Churchill, the man who refused to give up. Before we start, if you enjoy this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel and give a like. It will help you find more videos and continue to improve your English. Now, let's begin. Winston Churchill was born in 1874 in England, into a rich and important family. But his childhood was not as easy as people might imagine. His parents were often busy and did not spend much time with him, and at school he was not a very good student, because he had difficulties and did not always follow the rules. Many teachers thought that he would not become successful, and some people believed that he did not have a bright future, but even at a young age Churchill showed something important. He did not give up easily, and he continued to try even when things were difficult. As he grew older, Churchill wanted to see the world and experience something more exciting than his life at school, so he joined the army and traveled to different countries. During this time, he saw war, danger, and difficult situations, but instead of being afraid, he became more curious about the world. He also started writing about his experiences, and little by little people began to notice him, not only as a soldier, but also as someone who had ideas and opinions, and who was not afraid to express them. After his time in the army, Churchill decided to enter politics, because he wanted to play a role in the future of his country, but his path was not easy. He made several mistakes, and sometimes his decisions were criticized, and many people did not trust him. At certain moments, it even seemed that his career was coming to an end, but Churchill continued to learn from his failures, and instead of stopping, he became stronger and more determined, which slowly helped him gain more experience and confidence. Many years later, the world entered a very dangerous period, known as the Second World War, and the situation in Europe became more and more serious. Germany was becoming powerful, and many countries were afraid of what could happen next. In England, people were worried, because they knew that their country was in danger, and at that time, strong leadership was needed more than ever, because the future was uncertain and the situation could become even worse. In 1940, Winston Churchill became the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, at one of the most difficult moments in the country's history. The war was already affecting many parts of Europe, and there was a real possibility that England could lose. Many people felt fear and doubt, but Churchill had a different attitude, because he believed that even in the worst situation, it was still possible to fight and to resist, and this belief would soon become very important for the entire nation. Churchill was not only a leader, he was also a powerful speaker, and during the war he gave many speeches that became famous. His words were simple, but they were full of strength and determination, and he often repeated the idea that they must never give up. He told people that they would fight, no matter how difficult the situation was, and these messages gave hope to millions of people who were living in fear, because they needed someone who could help them believe that victory was still possible. During the war, many cities in England were attacked, especially during the bombings of London, and people lived in constant fear, not knowing what would happen next. Families lost their homes, and everyday life became very difficult, but even in these dark moments, Churchill continued to speak to the people and to encourage them. He showed calm and courage, and he reminded everyone that they were fighting for something important, which helped people stay strong and continue despite the danger. After many years of fighting, the war finally came to an end, and the Allied forces won. It was a moment of relief and happiness, after so much fear and suffering, and Churchill became a symbol of resistance and determination. People remembered his leadership and his words, because he had helped guide the country through one of the most difficult periods in its history, and his role during the war made him one of the most important figures of that time. After the war, Churchill continued his life in politics and writing, and he remained an important figure in history. Today, he is remembered not because he was perfect, but because he showed strength when it was needed the most, and because he refused to give up even when the situation seemed impossible. His story is still told today, because it reminds us that courage and determination can make a difference. So, what can we learn from this story? Life can be difficult, and sometimes we can feel afraid or uncertain about the future, but like Churchill, we can choose to stay strong and continue moving forward. Giving up is always the easiest option, but continuing is what can change everything. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and see you in the next one.